You may be done with Hatchetfield, Miss Stockworth, but Hatchetfield is not done with you!
Lucy turns to find an eccentric figure approaching. His hair is white. His black turtleneck clings to his body.
Excuse me, who are you?
My name is Professor Henry Hidgens, and if you'll indulge me and accompany me back to my home and laboratory on the edge of town, I'll show you something that'll knock your stockings off.
The Rolls-Royce weaves down a winding dirt road, through the dense thicket of the Hatchetfield witchwood. The trees are tall, with pale, cracking bark. The car stops at the entrance of a Gothic manor, filled with labyrinthine hallways and stained-glass windows. The fortress-like abode of Professor Henry Hidgens. Inside, Lucy follows the professor through a twisting corridor, her heels clicking on the black and white, checkered tile floor.
So you live alone out here?
Until recently, yes. I find isolation conducive to my work.
And what would that work be, Professor?
I'm a biologist. I study the indigenous fauna of these woods. Nighthawks, timber wolves, bears even. But what I found in one of my traps 13 months ago was no bear. When I shaved the creature to treat a wound it was nursing, I found something that defies our current scientific understanding. A lost hominid species! The missing link between Homo erectus and Homo sapien. He may now lack his thick black fur, but I'm curious, Miss Stockworth. Could you help me identify him?
Woollyfoot? Professor, are you telling me that you found the Hatchetfield ape-man?
No, Lucy. You're going to have to tell me what I found. Is your savior behind this door?
They come to a large, antique vault door with a porthole in the center. Hidgens turns the locking wheel. A mechanism clanks, the door unlocks. Lucy's heart skips a beat.
I can see him.
That's why you're here. Now, before we enter the enclosure, I must warn you. In his shaved state, he looks very much like a man, but he is not. He is a wild animal, and he is dangerous.
I understand.
Promise me you'll never let your guard down.
I won't.
And promise one more thing, Lucy. Whatever you do, don't fall in love with him.
Hidgens pulls the heavy vault door open. Beyond it lies a lush greenhouse. Raindrops pitter and patter on the glass ceiling. Tweeting birds flitter through exotic trees and blooming flowers. Hidgens cautiously steps into this jungle room, Lucy not far behind.
Woollyfoot! It's Henry! I brought you a very special visitor, so I want you to be on your best behavior.
Leaves rustle. Lucy can just make out some thing lumbering through the foliage.
Come on out! That's it! Good boy.
Lucy's jaw drops. Her eyes go wide. There, emerging into a small artificial clearing, is him. The Hatchetfield ape-man. He's hunched and grunting, but not entirely inhuman. In fact, his naked form seems almost familiar.
My God! He does look like a man.
Don't break eye contact, Lucy. He'll think you're submissive.
Of course.
The ape-man advances, full of wonder. He sniffs Lucy, startling her.
It's fine. He's just curious. Don't back away. Show him you're the dominant species.
The ape-man starts to lift Lucy's skirt to inspect it. She yanks it away from him.
Is that any way to treat a lady?
Good, Lucy. Show him who's boss.
The ape-man rears to his full height, beating his chest. Lucy is having none of it.
Now that's quite enough of that.
Scolded and ashamed, the ape-man slumps to the ground.
Very good. Now, forgive him. He needs correcting often, but afterwards you must always forgive him.
I forgive you.
Lucy touches the ape-man's hand, and his expression brightens.
Now, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
He understands words.
Some. He's even picked up a few himself.
He speaks! That's extraordinary!
Yes, he's quite intelligent.
Hello. My name is Lucy.
My name, Lucy.
Professor!
Keep going!
No. You're not Lucy. I'm Lucy. Lucy.
Lucy.
That's right. And you are?
Huh?
I mean, your name can't be the Woollyfoot. Lucy. Lucy.
Lucy? Conch.
Conch. Is that your name?
I'm Conch.
Professor! His name is Conch!
Well, that's news to me. I don't know why, but he's opening up to you in ways I never thought possible. It's almost like he knows you.
Do you remember me, Conch?
Lucy fall. Conch catch.
A teapot whistles. In a cozy kitchen, Hidgens hands Lucy a cup of Earl Grey. She's still beaming from her encounter with the ape-man.
Oh, he's incredible, Professor. Simply incredible. We have to alert the scientific community at once.
And then what, Lucy? What will become of Conch? He'll be put in a cage, poked and prodded for the rest of his life?
Then what's to be done, Professor?
He must learn. Learn our language, our ways. Then, when he understands his place in the world, let him decide his own fate. If he chooses to reveal himself to the world, we'll honor that. If he chooses to live as a man, we'll honor that. If he chooses to return to the woods, we'll honor that too. Whatever the case, Conch must decide for himself.
Of course. It must be his decision. I only want him to be happy.
You make him happy, Lucy.
I do?
You saw him in there. Within 2 minutes, he told you his name. Something he's kept from me for 13 months.
Hidgens sets down his tea. He looks into the young woman's eyes.
Lucy, will you stay? Will you help me teach Conch what it means to be a man?
Professor,
I got plenty of room here, and I could use an assistant.
Oh, well, I have a prior engagement. But it can wait. It has to. My God, I've been searching for him my entire life. And now I found him. I'm never letting him go.
Then we'll start tomorrow morning, bright and early. Conch has much to learn. Lucy! What did I say about outsiders?
Ascending a large staircase, Hidgens appears, quite perturbed.
He's not an outsider, Professor. We can trust him. This is Jonathan Bribsby, my fiancé.
Fiancé? I didn't realize you were entangled.
Well, she is, Professor.
Hidgens! Henry Hidgens.
Oh, so you're the one who's spirited away my Lucy for some sort of secret experiment. It must be quite the endeavor. Something to be shared with the rest of the world.
We can't, Jonathan.
And why not?
Professor, let's show him.
Moments later, Lucy, Jonathan, and Hidgens stand outside the antique vaulted door to Conch's enclosure. Jonathan can't believe his ears.
An ape-man, you say? Don't be ridiculous.
Don't you be so close-minded. He's right behind this door, and I won't have you frightening him. He's easily startled, and he's gentle, and he's kind, and he's wonderful.
Yet, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you had feelings for this ape-man.
Lucy turns the locking wheel on the door. Hidgens stops her.
Lucy, if Conch feels threatened by this man, I can't guarantee his safety. He makes one wrong move. This creature could tear his arms right from their sockets.
Fine. I'll be with him, and Conch will do nothing to hurt me.
Lucy pulls the heavy vaulted door open, and the three pass through it into the greenhouse.
Conch, I brought a new friend. Don't be shy. Come meet Jonathan.
Conch emerges from the trees, sizing up this newcomer.
Me Conch. You, John man.
Isn't he extraordinary?
Why, that's a man! It's obviously a naked man!
That's where you're wrong, friend. I'm a biologist. You think I would know if it were a man? He only looks like a man.
The professor shaved him.
Well, that's rather convenient.
He had to treat Conch's wounds and
Apply ointment to his skin. He had a rash all over his body.
Yeah, I don't see any wounds or a rash. I see two obvious charlatans. I don't know what you're up to, but it's gone on for far too long. Come along, Lucy. We're going back to England at once.
Jonathan grabs Lucy's arm and pulls her toward the door,
Let her go.
leaving Hidgens with Conch. The professor watches them go, then lights a cigarette.
Liar. Charlatan. Obviously a man. What do you say to that, Conch?
He offers the cigarette to the ape-man, who drops the act, bolts upright, and grabs it.
Woo! I say that was a fucking close one, Hidge. Woo!
Well, that's what happens when you ad-lib, Ted. Conch, where'd you come up with that name? The Flintstones? We agreed the ape-man's name would be Chumby. That's the name of an ape-man. Chumby.
Well, I'm sorry, alright? I blanked and Conch was the first thing that popped into my head.
I knew I should have played the ape-man and you should have played the professor. It's just that the professor seemed like such a meaty role and... Damn it! I guess it isn't how many lines you have, but what you do with them.
Ted puffs the cigarette and pulls on a robe he has hidden in a hollow stump.
So sue me, man. Alright? I flubbed the name. Lucy doesn't seem to mind. You see the way she looks at me? I told you, there's no denying the sexual charisma that radiates from this. Alright? And that's after you made me grow this. God, if I just had my mustache, Lucy and I would be on our honeymoon by now.
What did I say about improvising? There isn't gonna be a honeymoon as soon as you're married, and the Stockworth fortune is ours. It's for Miss Union Jack. Of course, the fiancé complicates things.
Yeah. Where'd that asshole come from? Hey. Ooh, maybe he's pulling a con too, huh? Maybe he's not really British.
Oh, he's British, all right. Did you hear him? You can't fake an accent like that. I'll deal with Mr. Brisby. And you, Conch, you stick to the script.
Pow! Deep in the witchwood, Jonathan takes his best shot at a nighthawk perched on the branch of a tree. The branch splinters, but the bird flies off unscathed.
Damn.
Nearby, Hidgens leans on his own rifle, lighting a stogie.
Bruce, but no cigar. You're going to have to be quicker than that if you want to bag yourself a nighthawk. They are wily birds.
Unamused, Jonathan lowers his weapon, and the two hunters trudge further into the forest.
Speaking of wily birds, what the devil do you think you're up to, Professor Hidgens? If you are, in fact, a real professor. Heaven knows you don't have a real ape-man.
Ape or not, Lucy has got a new man in her life, and it's got you shitting peach pits. Tell me, Jonathan, is your concern for Lucy or that sweet, sweet Stockworth estate?
Why can't it be both? I fully intend on becoming the Duke of Stockworth, and no half-rate professor and a shaved monkey man are going to stand in my way.
There really is no fooling you, is there, Jonathan? It's true. Conch is not the Hatchetfield ape-man. He's just a guy named Ted.
I knew it! You liar! You dirty, dirty man! You've been filling Lucy's head with nonsense for weeks. Well, when I get back to the house, I'm going to expose you. What's so funny?
Your choice of words amuses me, Jonathan. Don't you mean if you get back to the house?
What?
I may be a half-rate professor, but I can count. In case you haven't noticed, you're out of ammo. Whereas my weapon is fully loaded.
Hidgens shoulders his rifle and takes aim at Jonathan.
You're mad.
They called me mad! They all did! But I'll tell you what would be crazy. To let a goddamn crumpet Easter fuck up my plan! But I'm a sporting gentleman. I'll give you a head start. Go ahead. Run, Johnny! And home to your queen!
Jonathan takes off into the woods, running for his life. Hidgens gives chase, stomping through the fog like a maniac.
And the bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down!
Help me! Someone help me!
My fair lady!
Bang! Hidgens fires a shot into the back of Jonathan's shoulder. He tumbles to the ground, rolling through the thorny bramble. Jonathan can't move. He's bruised and bleeding. Hidgens approaches, looming over him.
Please, Professor.
Hidgens takes aim.
Welcome to America, you tea-taxing son of a bitch.
Bang! Back in the greenhouse, Lucy is distraught, distracted. Ted, again in the guise of Conch, kneels beside her.
Lucy, what mean fiancé?
Means that Jonathan and I are set to be married.
What? Married?
It's a contract where two people agree to love each other for the rest of their lives as long as they so live.
You love John Man?
Conch, it's complicated.
Ted takes her hand, laying it on thick.
Lucy, no go with John Man. Lucy, stay with Conch.
I should really go find Jonathan.
Good luck! He just took off.
In the doorway, Hidgens stands back from the hunt, his gun in hand.
Took off? What do you mean?
Said something about going back to England and you being crazy and the marriage being off. Basically, go fuck yourself.
No, that can't be. I have to get this straightened out.
Lucy runs off, back to her room. Ted furrows his brow.
Lucy's sad.
Of course she's sad. Her fiancé is feeding the worms.
You killed him. You killed him!
I took care of it! Don't worry. They'll be reunited. After you're married, the same worms will eat her too.
No. You no hurt Lucy.
You going soft on me, Ted?
On the contrary, my friend. Lucy makes me hard. Real hard. And I do some of my best thinking when I'm erect. I'm thinking, why does Lucy have to die at all? If I marry her, I get all the money anyways. And a hot wife.
She doesn't love you, you idiot! She loves the ape-man. What are you gonna do? Pretend to be Conch for the rest of your life?
Yeah! I like being Conch. As Ted, I'm nothing, alright? When I'm Conch, I'm somebody, huh? The missing link. I got a beautiful woman telling me I'm amazing for doing just easy shit. Like pointing to the color blue. Or reading words like cat in car. But that one test was hard. Trying to find triangles and all those other shapes. You had Conch take that just to make me look stupid.
You are stupid! I have plans for that money, and now you think you're gonna cut me out. You realize what you're doing, don't you, Ted? You're killing the show with what you're doing!
Doesn't matter. I'm the ape-man, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Try to tell Lucy. You tell on me, and I'll tell on you.
Murderer?
Betrayed, Hidgens backs away toward the door.
You forced my hand, my former friend. Prepare to be recast, Ted. Prepare to be written out. Oh, marry Conch! Lucy, marry me.
He's completely naked and swaying his arms over his head like an orangutan.
Professor?
Not Professor. Me am Hatchetfield ape-man. Me am lost hominid species. Missing link between Homo erectus and Homo sapien.
Professor, I'm very confused.
Conch is liar. Conch is guy named Ted I hired.
No, Lucy, Conch is Conch. Professor should go fuck himself, huh?
When did you learn that vulgar language, Conch?
Him not Conch. Him Ted. Look what hidden in Conch's stump. Oh, it's Ted's phone.
Hidgens pulls an iPhone from the hollow stump where Ted and his things. The professor starts scrolling through Ted's pictures and apps.
Stop it.
Look, Ted's Facebook, Ted's Tinder profile, Ted's Pornhub premium account.
Conch, what are you doing with the phone?
That's not Conch's phone. Shit.
It's hopeless, Ted. You never learned how to yes and.
Lucy, I can explain.
What? No, that can't be!
Oh, but it is. And you're not going anywhere, I'm afraid. Not until that stock-worth fortune is mine.
Before Lucy can reach the door, Hidgens retrieves a handgun he's hidden under a fake rock. He points it at Lucy.
So you can either marry one of us, or you can die.
Lucy makes a break for it. Hidgens pulls the trigger. Bang!
Lucy!
Ted dives into the bullet's path.
Oh.
He goes down, blood spilling from his gut. Lucy grabs Ted and drags him from the greenhouse. Before Hidgens can get in another shot, Lucy slams the vault door shut. She whirls the locking wheel, trapping the professor inside. Hidgens rushes the door and presses his face against the porthole. There's madness in his eyes.
Lucy! Open this door! Let me out! Let me out!
He abandons the door and runs for a tall tree in the center of the enclosure. He scurries up the thing with incredible speed, hooting and howling like an ape. He reaches the top of the tree and smashes the glass ceiling with his fist. Rain pours in as he climbs out to freedom. Outside the vaulted door, Lucy cradles the wounded Ted. His blood leaks onto the black and white tiled floor.
Oh, Conch. Or is it Ted?
Oh, please. Let me die.
As Conch. I want to thank you, Lucy. You made me the ape-man.
Bang! A nearby door explodes open. An enraged Hidgens kicks through the debris, a smoking shotgun in his arms.
Lucy, I'm home!
Lucy struggles to her feet and runs for it. Professor Hidgens hobbles behind her. She rips through the manor's winding corridors, knocking over chairs and vases behind her, anything she can do to slow down her pursuing assailant.
Professor, please, just stop!
Lucy, you got some splaining to do!
She finally reaches the front entryway. She throws open the large double doors and hurls herself out into the storm. Wind whips her face. Rain comes down in buckets. She bolts for the deep darkness of the Hatchetfield Witchwood. Sharp, spiny branches tear at Lucy's arms. The ground beneath her is a runny sludge, sucking her feet into the mud. Then, snap! Something springs up to bite her shin. One of the professor's traps.
Ow! My leg!
Lucy claws at the metal teeth that have pierced her boot and sunk into her skin. As she struggles to her feet, Hidgens creeps through the subsiding rain.
All right, Lucy. That's enough. I gotta admit, you gave me a better chase than Jonathan did.
No, please, no.
Oh, stop crying! I don't have to kill you. I'll make you a deal. I'll let you live, as long as you sign this check.
The storm dies just in time for Hidgens to reveal a check. He holds it out for Lucy to see.
See? I'm not completely unreasonable. I'm not greedy either. All I want from you is $30 million. Just enough to fund my musical. Working Boys! Would you like to hear the pitch? It begins with a spotlight on me.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh, what do you gotta do that's so important that you can't spare a few minutes to listen to a pitch, huh?
No, I mean I can't give you the money.
What?
I spent the stock-worth fortune in my search for the ape-man.
But... why was Jonathan trying to marry you?
For my title. I mean, I was trying to marry him for his money so I can continue my search.
Oh, you idiot! You goddamn idiot!
As Hidgens raises a shotgun and takes aim, Lucy grabs a nearby fallen branch and swings it with all her might. Wham! He tumbles into the mud. Lucy uses the stick to pry open the bear trap. He scrambles to the nearest tree and starts to climb as Hidgens crawls to his feet.
Oh, you think you're gonna climb a tree now? Who do you think you are? Becky Barnes? That's a bit of Hatchetfield lore for you. One time Becky Barnes climbed a tree and she didn't come down for 2 days. But she had to come down eventually. Just like you gotta come down. And when you do, you're gonna listen to my pitch. Then I'm gonna pump your guts full of lead!
Please, someone help me, please help
No
me!
one can hear you! You were stupid enough to follow me out here into the middle of the Witchwood! Just like you were stupid enough to believe in the Hatchetfield ape-man. There is no ape-man. Hear me? There is no... Whoop!
Suddenly, Hidgens is lifted into the air by a huge, hairy figure. This monstrous thing takes hold of the professor's arms and starts to pull.
Oh my god! No! Not my arms! Not my arms!
Plop! Hidgens' arms are ripped clean from their sockets. He plops to the muck below with a sopping, bloody thud. Above,